Hello, I'm Nick Thorne, the Nosey Genealogist. We're going to look at 5 tips for finding ancestors that are not in the parish records. In other words, discover your nonconformist relatives. Now, a number of our ancestors would have left the Church of England, some of them for good and others for just a period of time. From about 1650, the Protestant nonconformist congregations began to appear, and these were people that did not agree with the liturgy of the Anglican Church, nor its link to the state. They could be done as Presbyterians or Independents, sometimes known as Congregationalists, Baptists, Methodists, Quakers, and so on. There was an uplift in their membership from the mid-1700s with the Evangelical Revival. What you need to do, though, is to watch out for congregations that change their adherents. One time they may be Presbyterians, and then at a later date they become Independents, but they're all still the same congregation in that chapel. Tip 1. Your ancestors were Church of England for generations, and then they begin worshipping at the chapel, and that's why you can't find them in the parish records of the Church of England parish church. Case in point is my family, where some of them were married in the Church of England, then they baptised the first lot of their kids in the Church of England, and then from my great-great-grandfather onwards, his siblings and he were all baptised in the Independent Church. Tip 2 is if you can't find a marriage in the nonconformist registers, check that they aren't in the Church of England, because from 1753 Lord Hardwicke's Marriage Act made it illegal to marry, unless you were a Quaker or a Jew, in any other establishment other than the Anglican Church. So they possibly got married in the Anglican parish church, and then there might have been a second ceremony in the chapel. Baptisms, well, they were okay to be done by the nonconformist minister. There was no law preventing that. And burial, well, nonconformists, some of them had their own burial ground, but if they didn't, because there wasn't one close by, then there was a legal right to be buried in your parish churchyard, but no Church of England burial ceremony could be carried out for a nonconformist. With the change of the law in 1880, a nonconformist minister could now do a burial service in the parish churchyard, or from 1855 you'll find that a lot of the churchyards were closed and cemeteries started to spring up, and nonconformists would be buried in a particular part of the cemetery. I've got a case in point where I found in my family that in 1838 2 of the eldest sons died, and they were buried in the parish churchyard. But the family had not returned to the Church of England because a month earlier the baptismal ceremony of their youngest brother took place in the Independent Church. Tip 4, look out for whole family baptisms, because this is going to give you all the birth dates of the whole family unit. Tip 5, where? Well, you can find these records sometimes in the county record offices, like I did for Dartmouth. I found it in the Devon Record Office. The National Archives in Kew hold many of the nonconformist registers now, and you can search for those at bmdregisters.co.uk or the genealogist.co.uk, or also on Ancestry and Find My Past. So if you'd like to find out more about how to cheese out your elusive English or Welsh ancestors, then go to noseygenealogist.com/discover.